What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this Anfield agenda Leicester City League Cup preview. Now, obviously, we've got to caveat this by if the game goes ahead, but what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take you through my predicted 11, my score prediction, and a little bit of thought around the game. So if you're watching this back later on, the stream will be about 30-40 minutes, but if you're only interested in the predicted 11 and the score predictions, then first 10 minutes or so of the video will be for you. How are we all, everybody, by the way, in the chat? And let me just switch up scenes. We'll have a little word from our sponsors today. Ladies and gentlemen, this preview is being brought to you by Spitch. Spitch is the ultimate fantasy football manager game. To celebrate Boxing Day this year, Spitch are hosting a huge raffle with 50 prizes, including AirPods, Beats, Netflix vouchers, signed football merchandise, and lots more. You can play entirely for free with a new team and competition every week, winning prizes from the prize pool. The game is conducted in classic fantasy football style, choosing your team from the allocated budget and scoring points based on things such as goals, assists and clean sheets. You must be 18 years or over to enter, and it's available to UK residents, and the link is in the description to download the app. And as I said, don't miss out this week, Boxing Day, kick it off with a massive giveaway, all those prizes that I mentioned there, Beats, Netflix vouchers, AirPods, 50 prizes, and you can play entirely for free. The link to download Spitch is in the description of the video, and good luck to everyone that plays. Right, let's switch back across. How are we all feeling? Luke, it's your birthday today, I see in the chat as well. Happy birthday, Luke. Happy birthday, sir. We love it. Right, look, I'm going to jump straight into my predicted 11 for the video, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of people are going to be wondering, will you stop waffling and get straight into it? But look, let's start off with the score prediction for this one. And as you can see, I'm going to go for Liverpool to win 3-1. Now, a couple of things that I need to bring to your attention first and foremost is, so the Premier League today had a meeting with all the stakeholders, managers, and they decided to carry on with the season where possible. So no circuit breaker, no break in games, unless of course there was an outbreak at a club, in which case on a match by match basis they will review it. So look, as far as we know, Wednesday is going ahead at the minute. Now, for anybody that's going to be joining us for the watch along on Wednesday, we will be doing it on Twitch. I'll talk about that a little bit more later on and over the coming days. But look, for now, let's get stuck into the 11 that I'm going to predict for the game, taking into account the fact that we don't really know what the COVID situation is at the minute with players. So what the information we do have, I'll have a bash at an 11 and see how we get on. But look, 3-1 I'm going to predict anyway for Liverpool to win this one. And it's very difficult to know because Leicester have been absolutely torn apart by injuries and COVID. We're missing Fabinho, Van Dijk, Henderson with an illness, Thiago with COVID, Curtis Jones with COVID. And that's on top of injuries and other stuff as well. So for me, with this one, I expect Klopp to ring the changes. And starting with the goalkeeper situation, the centre-backs, I'm going to go for Kevin Kelleher because he usually plays the backup goalkeepers in the FA Cup, the League Cup and stuff like this. So I think perfect opportunity at Anfield on Wednesday to give Kevin a run out. With centre-backs, I expect them to give Joel Matip a bit of a break. You know, plenty of games coming up this month. Joel, we know, can only play a certain amount of games before he has to be rested. So I think this is a good opportunity. With Verge getting a little rest as well. I say a rest, he has COVID. I'm hoping he's asymptomatic and that he's getting a little bit of a break at home. But if not, I'm going to go for Canade and Joe Gomez. Gomez, great to have him back. He's come on and played some minutes as a substitute. And look, I don't know if he has the whole 90 in his legs at the minute, but I would start him alongside Ibrahim Kanade. Moving on, obviously, look, we know that Andy Robertson is unavailable for this game because of the red card he picked up. So it'll be Costa Tsimikas at left back most likely. And I've gone for Nico Williams at right back. Again, just to give Trent a break and because Klopp likes to shake things up with the League Cup. Now, I want to make really clear, I want to win the League Cup. I want Liverpool to get through this game against Leicester and go and win the League Cup. And I think the team that we've put out, if we have a strong bench, I think we could get the job done, should get the job done. But Leicester are a decent side with good young players themselves. Moving into midfield, obviously loads of changes again. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to come back in for me. Tyler Morton to play in the holding midfield role. It was a tough afternoon for him at Spurs because he picked up an early yellow doors. That's the reason Klopp took him off. But it was a great. What I will say is that would have been a great learning experience for Tyler Morton and how to help see his way through a game in an early yellow and in a very difficult circumstance there yesterday in London. So, you know, full credit to the young man. Wasn't his greatest game to play in his career, but it wasn't his worst either. And you got to take the good with the bad with the younger players. But, you know, that early yellow ultimately I think is why Jurgen Klopp took him off. So Tyler Morton in the holding midfield role, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita. That's the midfield that I'd go with. Now up top, Obviously, got to make some changes here as well. Going to go for Takumi Minamino on the left-hand side, Mohamed Salah on the right-hand side, and Bobby Firmino through the centre. Diogo Jota's played a lot of minutes lately, scoring some goals. Lovely header against Spurs. So for me, I think, look, play Bobby. If Origi was fit, I would say absolutely put Divock through the centre. I know that he likes to play Takumi Minamino centrally, normally, but I think just stick him on the left-hand side, put Bobby through the middle, and Mohamed Salah on the right. And look, I'll be surprised if Salah starts. Maybe I'm being optimistic here. I just think that if we play at least one of our superstars, but we should have enough sprinkling of magic to get through. But maybe he starts with him on the bench and he plays one of the younger players. I don't know. But for me, that's the team I'd like to see. A mixture of youth, experience, fringe players, and it's a roll of the dice, isn't it? With these things, you never know what way the League Cup managers are going to treat it. So there you go. That's what I think anyway. Now I'm going to go over to you guys and see what you think. So if you were tuning in just to see the predicted 11 score prediction, there you go. I mean, it's a guess. Of course it's a guess. Nobody has a clue what way Klopp's going to go. Oh, by the way, I'm still on the coffee, so, cheers to you all. Right, over to the chat, see how everyone's feeling. Actually, let me just do another sexy transition here into the new studio. We love that. Colin's been working hard on that transition, so it's only fair that I make sure I give it the big build-up. Right, what have we got in the chat? Let's see. I reckon Allison plays and his captain said Puskás is a god. Well, he usually does shake it up, mate, with the goalkeepers for the League Cup. But look, if Ali plays, Ali plays. Sounds no problem with that whatsoever. Addison said, I agree with the team. Hayden said, Craig, Canade and VVD or Joe with VVD. Which partnership do you think is better? Love from Singapore. Thank you, Hayden. Right now, VVD and Matip for me would be our first choice centre-back if everybody's fit and available. But Ibrahima Konate has done himself no harm this season, and Joe Gomez, as we know, is a good steady pro as well who will do no harm replay. So look, I'm really happy with where we are with centre-backs as a club at the minute. Even having Nat Phillips, who will most likely move on in January. But yeah, for me right now, it's good times at Liverpool with centre-backs. Compared to last year, where we hadn't got a centre-back to our name, right now, yeah, it's good that we're having these conversations. Maximus said, hi Craig, best streamer, thank you, but yesterday Liverpool played awful. I'm a Liverpool supporter, but Kane did need to get sent off. Look, I mean, I don't know where to go with the referee performance, not just yesterday, but over the weekend for the 4 games that were played. There were some horrendous decisions, and there was a really good segment on Match of the Day, and usually I don't give mainstream media a lot of credit. But I want to single out Alan Shearer for special credit here, because if anybody watched Match of the Day 2 last night, you'll see Mr. Shearer stand up and say what the rest of us have been thinking. That refereeing performance by Paul Tierney yesterday, and he expanded it as well to the decision in the Newcastle game where they weren't given a penalty, was shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. We heard Jurgen Klopp say that Paul Tierney said to him that the reason that Diogo Jota wasn't given a blatant penalty, and it was as blatant as you'll see, was because he thought he stopped and looked for the contact. Now, this is exactly why managers and players alike scream for some referees to have experience playing the game. You can't shoot at full speed. You have to stop and set yourself. Ask any forward. They'll tell you that. So Diogo Jota had to stop to set himself. You could see he was swinging on his left foot. And then in came the challenge. He got clashed out of it. Absolutely clean penalty. Stonewall. Nothing doing. We moved on. Game continued. Harry Kane. I said it at the time, and I was mocked for it in the watch-along, but I got to double down on it now. It's because he's Harry Kane. That's why he didn't get sent off. People will go laugh, ha ha ha. Last night, again, Alan Shearer was asked by the presenter, Match of the Day 2, do England captains get different treatment from the referees? He didn't even hesitate. He said, yes, they do. And we heard this Harry Kane isn't that type of player. Fuck right off. It doesn't matter what type of player he is. A challenge is a challenge. And that was a cowardly challenge. Then we heard that, Robbo jumped out of the tackle, so that's why there wasn't enough force for a red. Robbo is clever. Robbo protected himself from perhaps having a broken ankle by riding the challenge, it's called, lifting yourself up to take the force out of it. If his standing leg stayed there, that could have been a break. It could have been. So, penalty, nailed on. Red card, nailed on. Paul Tierney gave us nothing. Now, we move on to Andy Robertson's red card. It was a red card. No problem. No problem. My only thing at the time was I said it'll come down to one of two things. The referee and the VAR will either look at this and say he made a genuine attempt to play the ball and he missed it, in which case it would have been a yellow. But seeing the replay, it's clear he was petulant, he came in, he just swung a leg, and Robbo deserved to see red. So, look, I've been on about Premier League referees and the standard of them for a very long time, and people just keep telling me I'm salty, but I'm not. And what happens to us one week will happen to somebody else the next week. We need and deserve better referees in this league. The best league in the world, the best funded league in the world, and the standard of officiating is absolutely shambolic. And this threshold, this VAR nonsense of clear and obvious is just a way of hiding behind and protecting the referees. So I'm not for VAR is there to try and help the referees, but all they're doing is just backing each other up. It's a shambles. You know it, I know it, the Premier League know it. And I'm glad to hear people like Alan Shearer, who have a voice, a loud voice in the media, come out and say that it was shambolic. And it was shambolic. But it was a good game. Other than that, it was a good game. You know, it was end to end. It was a proper festive game of football in the Premier League. And look, if Kane gets sent off and we get the penalty, so be it. I feel, personally, Spurs had a decent enough show for a penalty. Not the Dele Alli dive, because that's what that was. A blatant dive from another cheating SOB that plays for Spurs that loved to throw himself to the ground. But there was one, Joel Matip made a clumsy challenge right on the edge of the box. Now, I can't say for certain whether it was in or right just outside it. But either way, clumsy, could have understood it. But even that, nothing. Like, the referees are just awful. Awful. Still can't see how Robbo's is a red. Oh, it's a red, Matthew. It is a red, mate. He made no attempt to play the ball. What happened was Robbo gave away possession and lost his head then. Just got a little bit petulant, threw a leg out and fell. Look, it was a red. It was a red. It was. Let's be fair about it. We've all done it. Anyone that's played the game has had those moments in football where you're so frustrated on the pitch that you lash out with something like that. And yeah, he didn't play the ball. He played the man. He went straight for his leg, and I think it was a red. But I think Harry Kane's was infinitely worse. Infinitely worse, and I just think it was Robbo's cleverness that saved him. But this whole pretense that Harry Kane doesn't get special treatment is nonsense. He absolutely gets special treatment. To say he isn't that type of player, that shouldn't come into any decision making. Every incident should be taken on its merits. Doesn't matter if he is, it doesn't matter if he gives his wages away to charity and spends his time every single day outside the training at food banks giving out. It doesn't matter. On the pitch, he recklessly endangered another player and should have been sent off. But because he's Sir Harold of Tottenham, nothing's done about it. He gets a yellow card. And to hear the arrogant little twat Harry Kane afterwards being interviewed, and this is what he said: I thought it was a good strong challenge. He's an absolute dope. He knew exactly what he was doing. If he thought it was a strong challenge, his studs would have been down, his toe would have been pointed, but it was studs up, sideways and in. He's a coward. He's a cowardly, lying son of a bitch, and that was a reckless challenge. And if people don't start calling this shit out, we're going to have more injured players. We need players to be protected. And that was, to hear him say that about another, I thought it was a good, strong challenge. You were nowhere near the ball, mate. It was blatantly a red card. I'm going to hold my tongue before I say something I can't take back. But to hear him say that, I can only imagine. At least Robbo, afterwards, had the decency to come out and say, hold my hands up, moment of madness, I was wrong, Kloppo as well, red card for Robbo, no complaints. And I've no complaints about it either. But to hear Harry Kane come out and say he thought it was a good, strong challenge, why did the interviewer not pull him up and say, you're talking out your arse there? Harry, with all due respect, that was a cowardly challenge. Nothing good and strong about that whatsoever. The ball was gone, mate. It was horrible. To anyone who missed it, there'll be no replays in the FA Cup third and fourth rounds. The matches will instead be sorted on the night. Thank you for that one, Mark. And again, as I said at the start of the video today, the Premier League clubs and stakeholders had a meeting today and they have voted to carry on with the Premier League where possible and to not have a circuit breaker or to not have a break in play. What I do want to say though is, and this will affect me again, but I think we will perhaps see a situation where football is going to go back behind closed doors again for a while. Couple of reports coming out of, I think Henry Winter may have shared his opinion on this and said something similar, that it looks like we may see a situation where football goes behind closed doors again for a while, unfortunately. Maximus, can you not put the same comment in over and over, mate? I mean, I see it, I just don't acknowledge every comment, dude. But you'll go have a good night, my man, and enjoy. Matthew said, because it's Harry Kane. Exactly. But I was laughed at on the watch-along yesterday for saying that. People coming in calling me salty, all the usual nonsense. But I said it. Alan Shearer said it. Many others have said it. It is because his name is Harry Kane. That's why he wasn't sent off. Let's just use an example. If, let's say, Fabinho makes that challenge, he's sent off. If Paul Pogba makes that challenge, he's sent off. You know, if anybody who's not England captain makes that challenge, we're sent off. And if you don't think that these referees have an inherent bias, then you're part of the problem. He said he thought he won the ball. I don't know in what world he thought he won the ball, mate. I'm not dismissing what you've said, Lee, but I don't know in what world he thinks he won that ball. Honestly, baffled. Craig also never let Paul Tierney officiate a Spurs match ever again, said Hayden. Look, Kloppo came out afterwards and basically said, I don't know what problem Paul Tierney has with me, but he seems to have one with Jurgen Klopp for whatever reason, and he screwed us twice yesterday. Once because of the Harry Kane red, there should have been a red in the first half, and the penalty incident. I don't know what else to say, but it is what it is. The game went on. We still should have won it. We went 2-1 up, and a moment of madness. Now, another thing I want to just point out really quickly is I took a lot of grief yesterday for saying that Allison made a blunder that cost us, and I don't know why I took a lot of grief for that. He made a blunder that cost us. Now, people are going to say it would have been 4 or 5 if it wasn't for Allison. Not true. Look back at the game and watch it. So he makes a save from Dele Alli. Save. That's one. The one from Heung-min Son that tried to go round when he was offside wouldn't have counted. And the other save he made was a very good one-on-one save from Harry Kane, where Harry Kane was squared across to him, I think, from Dele Alli, and Harry Kane tried to shoot and Allison saves it. They're the two big saves of the game. And he made them. Great saves. But he still made a blunder, let's be fair. We accept it's part of his game. It's part of what makes Allison Allison. He comes out, plays sweeper keeper, tries him up on the edge of the box. But for me, that cost us. We just scored and went 2-1 up. And within 5 minutes, that happened. Robbo then loses his head and gets sent off. And we're hanging on in to try and get a point in the game. So it's I love Allison. Love him. Love the man. Don't want to change him. Best goalkeeper we've had in years. Love him. But we have to be honest about this and say that he does have this in him. But then again, any keeper would. It's a horrible, tough position to play in. Because if a goalkeeper makes a mistake, more often than not, it'll end up in conceding a goal. If a forward misses a chance or a midfielder gives away the ball, there's still chances somebody else can come in and cover and make that clearance. But unfortunately, for the position of a goalkeeper, it usually ends up in a goal being conceded if you make a mistake. It's tough, but, you know, it's part of what makes a keeper, and it's part of what makes Allison the keeper and the man that he is that he won't carry that forward. He'll shake it off, he'll try and learn from it, and he'll move on. But I've always promised on this channel from day one that I'll be honest. I'll always give my honest opinion. And he gave away a howler yesterday. I mean, dress it up whatever way you want. Tell me he made 50 saves. Great. He's a goalkeeper. He's supposed to make saves. And yes, they're brilliant saves, but look, I love Allison, but let's be fair, he made a blunder at a vital time, just after we got 2-1 up, in a really difficult game, where we hadn't got a lot of our first team players, and we were away from home, and we were against the referee, and Kane should have been sent off, and we should have had a penalty, and we somehow eke our way into a lead. But look, in the grand scheme of things, at the end of the day, when you look at it, a point away to Spurs isn't going to be the end of the world, but it did just take a little bit of momentum out of our very good form lately, because we've been in fantastic form, and trying to keep pace with this Manchester City team is no mean task. Dele save was good though. Brilliant save. Absolutely brilliant. I was fully sure that Dele Alli was scoring there. Even when it left Dele Alli's foot, I bet you he thought he was scoring. So yeah, that save from Allison from the Dele Alli one was amazing. And the one getting up off the ground to save from Harry Kane was also amazing. No one's denying that. They were brilliant saves. Michael said I can forgive for that one. I can forgive him as well. Of course I can. Look, I love Allison Becker. Love him. But we can't not acknowledge what happened, what we see in front. Like, if we don't acknowledge these things, we're going down the Donald Trump route of alternative facts here. He made a mistake. But he's got loads of credit in the bank. Absolutely. 100% agree. Very hopeful Nico Williams starts tomorrow, said the Greasy. Liverpool should win if Danny Ward plays in Leicester in goal. It's on Wednesday, mate. It's on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Arsenal are playing Sunderland in the League Cup. But yeah. Do you think Man City will drop points? Of course they will. Everybody will drop points, mate. Everybody. City are formidable at this moment in time. You know, they've won 4-0, 7-0. They've got a squad that they can interchange and shake up. And yeah, they're a really good team. Really good team. And it's going to be a hell of a task to try and rein them in and wrestle back that Premier League title from them. But what we know about this group is that they won't shirk the responsibility. They won't shirk the challenge. They'll look forward to it. But we can't let them get too far ahead of us. You know, we don't want to be playing a big catch-up with Manchester City because at the moment, if we really think about it, we can say, right, if we win at the Etihad, you know, we're back, we're level. So, you know, as of now, not the end of the world. Losing a couple of points yesterday, fair enough. But yeah, we don't want to give them too much space. Because we know with Manchester City and Guardiola as well, they like to win leagues early. They like to put up an ungodly amount of points and then the latter half of the season concentrate on, you know, the Champions League and stuff. And we can't do that. We need to have them under pressure constantly. When they're going to play in the knockout stage of the Champions League, they need to know we're breathing down their neck in the Premier League. And they'll do that. The lads will do that. What way are you going to watch the game on Wednesday night, said Killian? Well, I've been telling you for ages how to get these games that aren't on television in the UK, and Wednesday will be no different. It'll be the exact same thing again. So, you know, get yourself a VPN, in our case, Surfshark, and get yourself a Canadian DAZN subscription because they're showing the game. So that's what we're going to be using to watch the game. But we will be doing the watch along on Twitch on Wednesday. So, build up show. Team news announcement show on YouTube, and then we'll follow that up. We'll go straight over to Twitch for the watch along. Only watch along we're going to do on Twitch, by the way. We just have to try it out, and that's where we are tonight. Though on YouTube, my favourite show of the week, Cop the Week. Myself, James Redmond, and the newly engaged Mr. Steve Bland as well. So 8:45 for that one tonight, and we've a lot to unpack and a lot to get through. So you don't want to miss it. But look, let's keep going with some more comments, and we'll do another 10 minutes or so. Craig, we barely beat City at the Etihad, so hopefully we could win there this season. Yeah, look, it's a difficult place, you know, it's their home. But, you know what, we can beat them. We can, it'll be difficult, but, you know, this group won't give up, and we can't give up on them. It's at the end of the day, we're in December, we're only 3 points off the top of the league table. Nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And City have a tricky enough run of games coming up. I mean, they've got Brentford, I think they've got Leicester, maybe Chelsea or something as well. They haven't got a really easy run coming up. So, you know, with the fixture congestion and all, let's wait and see. Paul said, great work again today, Paul. Trying to join on, but it's not working via my phone. Is there any other method to join? If you mean become a member, Paul, there is a link at the top of the live chat, buddy, if that's what you're talking about. So right now, top of the live chat, there's a pinned comment there from Connor that if you go up and click on that, it'll bring you to become a member. Or there's a link in the description of the stream, Paul. I'm sure one of the lads will be able to post it in there for you as well. But if that's what you're talking about, Paul, top of the live chat. With the team we have, I feel like we have to win either the Champions League or the Premier League. Yeah, I agree. It'll feel like one hell of a disappointment if we don't lift silverware this season. We've a great chance in the League Cup, you know, last day, and the talk is that they're trying to change the semi-final back to just one leg again, which makes sense because it'll free up a day for potential Premier League games to be caught up on as well. So let's hope common sense prevails and whoever wins between ourselves and Leicester will only have a one-legged semi-final. But yeah, it will seem a crying shame if we don't lift silverware this season. I'm really confident about us in the Champions League, but, you know, let's wait and see. But if football goes behind closed doors, our advantage in the Champions League, having the second leg at home, to me, it's almost gone. Because we know how important the crowd is at Anfield. So, yeah, I mean, let's wait and see what happens. You know, this is going to be an evolving situation that changes over the coming days and weeks. Craig, do I know about Singapore? I know it's one of the cleanest countries in the world, mate, with one of the lowest crime rates in the world, with one of the most expensive pints of beer in the world. That's all I really know about Singapore. That, and they have a Grand Prix. Rory said, our next 10 games are easier than City's next 10. Your brother's going to the game on Wednesday, Callum. Nice one. I'm supposed to be going to the Brentford game in January, and I guarantee you it'll be behind closed doors or something. And that'll be the last 2 games I've been supposed to go to that will have been missed out on because of this COVID madness. What else we got? Liz said, great interview by Chris with you and Connor. Oh, yes. So there's a really good article. Obviously, I would say that. It's about us. Up on LFC Transfer Room's website right now, where basically they asked us about how Anfield Agenda came to fruition and all this kind of stuff. And you get to know myself and Connor and what drives us a little bit more. So if you have any interest in it, definitely go and check it out. lfctransferroom.com. Go over there. It's part of the Sports Illustrated family. And yeah, you can see the article there for yourself. And it was well written by Chris. Absolutely fantastically written. And there's a few more of them to come as well. Liverpool and Man City rivalry is like Verstappen and Hamilton. Which one are we in that scenario, though? I'd say we're Verstappen in this scenario. The more I think about it, we're probably Verstappen. Craig, I think Chamberlain's been brilliant this season. Not Chris, by the way. He's been good. He has. People just see his goal return and just think he hasn't been the same. But as I keep trying to point out, what he's added to his game defensively this season, I think has been brilliant. And I think hasn't got a notice by Jurgen Klopp. He was asked to work on that side of his game, to be a bit more tactically aware and a bit more astute to Jurgen Klopp's methods. And I think, the fact that he's playing some games will show us that he's listening to Klopp. Paul, you found it, my man. Paul, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. Paul is the latest member to join Anfield Agenda FC. If you want to become a member of the channel, you can do so with the link in the description or the pinned comment at the top, or you hit the blue join button. It is $4.99 a month, but thank you, Paul. Really appreciate your support on the channel. LFC Hub said, has Thiago got COVID? Yes, unfortunately, mate, he has. Second time as well. He had it just after he signed for us. Remember, he was unwell, then he went for a walk around the city centre after it cleared up, but unfortunately, mate, yes, he has. So I don't know how long the players are going to be ruled out for. Honestly, I haven't got a clue, because all this stuff is changing on an hourly, daily basis. The testing regimes clubs have, we're probably going to see more of these pop up. Why didn't Klopp bring Chamberlain on the Spurs game? I don't know. Obviously, he didn't feel it would have worked in the circumstances, particularly after we went down to 10. So, I don't know, mate, is the honest answer. What have we got? Chelsea's first 3 games of the new year are Liverpool, City and Tottenham. That's going to be, as you said, mate, that could be a big factor. Dara is in. Hello, Dara. Happy Christmas to you and the boys. What else have we got? Man City or Red Bull always bringing upgrades to each race, while Liverpool and Mercedes upgrade to an extent and then stop and fight for a better equipped car. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to claim to be the world's biggest font of knowledge on F1. Actually, Drive to Survive, Connor got me to start watching that on Netflix. Very good. Right, look, how am I feeling? Said Martin. Tired, mate. Tired. I've had, I worked it out last night. I think I've done 59 of the last 60 days making content, so I'm absolutely shattered, but looking forward to tonight. I always enjoy the show with James and Steve, so looking forward to that one at 8:45. And again, just before we finish up, a few more minutes, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this show today has been brought to you with thanks to Spitch. Spitch is the ultimate fantasy football manager game. To celebrate Boxing Day this year, Spitch are hosting a huge raffle with 50 prizes, including AirPods, Beats, Netflix vouchers, signed football merch, and a whole lot more. You can play for free with a new team and competition every single week, winning prizes from the prize pool. The game is conducted in classic fantasy football style, choosing your team and allocated budget, and scoring points based on things like goals, assists, and clean sheets. You must be 18 years or over to enter and a resident of the UK. And good luck to you. Best of luck. Let us know if you win anything. And thank you to the good folks at Spitch. Brought to you by the folks that brought you One Football as well, I believe. So there you go. What else have we got? Craig, are comments only read if you're a member? No, absolutely not. We try to read as many as we can. No, we'd never do that, mate. We'd never just read out members' comments. Now, I will say that members' names appear in green to me and other members, making it easier to spot them. But no, absolutely, we try and go through as many as we can. Dara said, thanks, Craig. My eldest is 16 today. Well, happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to him. And I know how proud you are of your two boys, Dara. So lots of love from all of us to your son today on his birthday. And yeah, doesn't time go so fast? My eldest is 17. Makes me feel really old, but very proud of them, as I'm sure you are, of your boys. Right. Fabinho does unfortunately have COVID. Yes, he does, unfortunately. Van Dijk, unfortunately. Hendo was interesting, though. He just had an illness, wasn't COVID, so will he be back on Wednesday? You never know. I'd say all the players that are out, 7 to 10 days, probably. 7 to 10 days. But look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call that a day, but I will see you tonight, 8:45. Myself, James Redmond, and Steve Bland for my favourite show of the week, Cop the Week. It's going to be loads of fun. So I hope to see you tonight, 8:45. Don't forget, go over to Twitch as well and get yourself a follow on there of Anfield Agenda. We'll be doing the watch along there on Wednesday night. And yeah, look, love to you all.